All right, Mob, welcome back to the cream of the crop. Dig it. Fourth and 31 podcast, your one stop shop for all things SEC and college football. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a second. I'm your host, part of the Killer Bees broadcasting team, the Chad Bullock. And tonight, gentlemen, we are without the producer. So when the cat's away, the mice will play. As I'm joined with the man, the myth, and the legend, Coach Bo, and the man who would rather root for Ohio State over the St. Paul Saints, Brant Feinbaum. And Mob, do we have a kind of a laid back fun show for you tonight. We're going to be taking three pairs of two SEC teams. We're going to look at their schedules, kind of compare and contrast, and we're going to give our way too early predictions, kind of go through looking at the games they might win, the games they might lose, and we're also going to see which schedule we like better of the two that we're comparing. But first, since the coach was not with us on Tuesday night, we're going to let him jump in here real quick and give his take on that hell of a national championship game 2 nights ago. So, Coach Bo, the floor is yours.
Well, Indiana, without a doubt, has to be the best, most unimpressive team I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's nothing they do that wows you except for the execution, the way they just go about their business, no mistakes. Now, it was a little concerning. I thought maybe on that last drive where we saw the false start, where they got held to the field goal, and then they had the roughing the passer, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, those are two monster mistakes in the biggest time. But then, the real Carson Beck stood up and was able to bail them out. That was one of everybody's talked about it. There was no need whatsoever for Carson Beck to take that shot. He did a phenomenal job all game, just taking the throws that were given, hitting the chunk plays. Now, one thing that I always say in football is football, styles create fights, and it's a game of matchups, and whose matchups can impose their will over the other to take over the game. And it was pretty clear, in my opinion, what Indiana's weakness is, because every team has a weakness. Every team. I don't care how good they are. Every team in the NFL has a weakness. It's, can that team on that night exploit that weakness? And Miami ripped off the 57-yard run on the outside zone to the right side. They ran another outside zone to the right side for a 20-plus yard gain. They hit the big play to Tony. They hit several big plays where they got their athletes in space. That was their kryptonite. Miami's problem is they didn't attack it sooner. I really thought for most of the second half that Miami really, for the most part, pretty much outplayed Indiana. I mean, Miami's defense only gave up 17 points. But when you really look at that, it came down to a block punt, the missed field goal, and then the interception. Mistake, mistake, mistake. Miami made the three biggest mistakes in the game. And when you play in a game like that of teams that have that caliber of players, that's what's going to do it for you. And I really felt bad for Carson Beck. I really did. I really felt bad for that throw, because as soon as he threw that ball, I said, oh, God, no. Because I saw it. I saw the coverage at the snap. I said, there's no way he's fitting that ball in. The only way he could possibly have thrown that ball is if he throws it over the outside shoulder to the sideline. But he tried to throw on a line in between the two defenders. It's like they just baited him into the throw, and then he took it. He took the bait. He got greedy one time. And I have no doubt in my mind, if they just keep taking the chunk down the field and work their way, because they had plenty of time. They had about 48 or 50 seconds. And if he takes his time and works the ball down the field, they're going to be down deep in a goal-to-go situation with an opportunity to run a couple of plays to win it. I hate it for Carson Beck, because that's all anybody's going to remember are probably a lot of the mistakes. I think Miami deserved a better fate than that, but that's what they did. That was on them. They made the mistakes. Indiana capitalized. I really thought that Miami's defense did a great job from the outset, hitting Mendoza every chance they got. Mendoza played, he was okay. But when his team needed it, he had the good run on fourth down, made a couple of back shoulder throws, not terrific throws, but that Becker made two outstanding catches on those. I mean, great body adjustments. I think there was one that he had to reach back behind him and catch below his kneecap, and just a phenomenal catch. Now, I don't know what kind of guy, outside receiver, that Becker's going to make in the NFL, but that guy will have a career of 10 years or more, 10 to 12 years, playing in the slot, catching third downs, and moving the sticks. That guy's got a great pair of hands. He's got a good feel for the game. But just when it came down to it, when the plays needed to be made, Indiana made those couple of plays, and Miami made the mistakes. But Miami's defense, they were all over Mendoza. He was not comfortable all night. And it started off, I think it was on the first or second drive, they ran that zone read, and Mendoza carried out his fake, and boom, got popped right in the mouth and bloodied his lip. And that's where it started. And that's what you do. I mean, I saw Cignetti was griping about the two hits, or two or three hits in the first half, and the officials stayed out of that game completely. There were 4 or 5 pass interference calls against Indiana. Any other time of the season, they're called. But when you have both arms wrapped around to defend a receiver before the ball gets there, that's pass interference. When you're pinning a receiver's arm down to where he can't lift but one arm up, that is pass interference. There was another call. Mendoza threw the ball. It was a terrible throw. Mendoza threw the ball up the hash, and the receiver was kind of running kind of across the field, and the defensive back from Miami yanked the shoulder pad. And I was like if you're not going to call that, just don't call anything at all the rest of the night, ever. Now, I'm all for letting them play, but when the penalties are that obvious and on the outside, I mean, good grief. I mean, there was a run play where number 8 for Miami got tackled. I mean, just tackled right in front of the referee. And it was, I believe it was on a third down, and ended up being a first down on the run. And it's like, but anyway, I'm just giving you just what I saw the whole game, and it was both ways. I'm not saying it was just one way; it was both ways. But the one thing I will say about that, the players determined the game. The officials didn't interject. Only on the most obvious situations, but two teams. Now the question for Cignetti is now the real fun begins. That entire offense is gone. Most of the defense is gone, and he's going to TCU to get Josh Hoover, who lost 4 conference games last year in the Big 12. So we'll see. Maybe he can do a little more with him than Sonny Dykes did, but he fits that Indiana mold. He's about 46 years old. He's been playing college football since I think 1987. And in all seriousness, he's a very veteran quarterback, and he'll fit right in. Probably a very coachable guy, and he'll fit right in. But a lot of pieces to clean up to replace for Indiana. Miami, on the other hand, just went and called Duke's quarterback Darian Mensah, and was just like, "Hey man, why don't you come over here and play? We'll give you whatever." They gave him $5 million, $6 million. Oh yeah, sure, I'll go jump in the portal. And apparently there's a lawsuit. I mean, it's ridiculous. Mensah wasn't even in the transfer, but now he's going to Miami. So Miami may have gotten one of the best kept secrets in college football. And the worst part of it is it's within the conference, and the conference doesn't care. If it was the other way around, if Duke was doing this to Miami, given the nature of the two football programs, something probably would be said. But that's my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, and kind of what we were talking about Tuesday night, just from my perspective, that last drive for Miami, I thought personally just keep going inside the numbers, because he had them wide open that whole drive. I mean, he had good throws inside the numbers.
Carson Beck did a great job throwing inside the numbers all game. Yeah. One of the things I noticed a lot about Mendoza, and this is not going to fly in the NFL, but this is what Indiana was calling, and it probably has a lot to do with what they were given. A lot of the soft coverage and a lot of the looks they were given a lot of times will determine where you're going to go with the ball. But Mendoza, the vast majority of his throws are outside the numbers. I mean, you can't live like that in the NFL. If you can't throw the ball in the middle of the field in the NFL, you will not survive. But I thought Beck did a great job of working that underneath. But I'm telling you, that dude's elbow is not 100%. When he threw that ball into that hole, trying to take that hole shot on that last play, there was no zip on that ball. He doesn't have the elbow strength. Yeah, hopefully for him, he can get treatment or whatever he needs, because I think that I still think he's a pretty talented guy. There's something that some NFL team can work with.
Yeah, and for me, just that throw, I thought it was like so poorly thrown that it should have been, like you said, back shoulder, or the safety should have entered. I don't think the cornerback should have ever seen that ball. It was so badly underthrown.
Again, he threw it on the line. He tried to throw a hole
Yeah.
shot. He doesn't have the arm strength to get that ball in there. I'm telling you, he
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, that
So-
was a hell of a hard throw for that distance, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's the wrong throw. It was the wrong read. But if you're going to throw that and nobody's open and you're basically just throwing it away, throw it out of bounds. Live to
Yeah.
fight another play.
Well, all right. Got taken care of that. All right. So now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We've got 6 SEC teams. We're going to pair them off into twos, and we're going to compare Texas and Auburn, and then we're going to get to Oklahoma and Georgia, and then we're going to go to Kentucky and Ole Miss. We're going to look at their schedules. I guess I'll run them down. We'll go win-loss. I did win-loss toss-up because, I mean, you don't know what you have right now, but this is the insaneness of what we're going to do right now. So, all right, gentlemen, Brant, I'll let you start first. We'll go with Texas, Texas State. I think we all think that's a win.
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 All right, Ohio State.
I think they get revenge on them. I call that a win.
Okay, I called that. A
I'm going to say win because I think Arch was probably the most improved player the second half of the year, the Southeastern Conference. And they got the 2 best running backs in the portal. They improved their offensive line. They got the best receiver in the country. With Sark calling the plays, that offense is going to be could be electric this year again.
Chad, they're in DKR, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take Texas, absolutely.
Yeah. Texas San Antonio. That's a win.
I don't know. It's the Road
Yeah.
Runners, baby. Beep beep.
No, I don't
This
care.
ain't Azalea. But
Yeah. By the way,
Azalea.
that's an inside joke for those of you who don't know us.
Yeah.
Chad and I went to Azalea Middle School, and we were the Road Runners. So that's
Yeah.
just an inside joke there.
Yeah.
But
Week
no,
4.
I agree. Texas all day.
Week 4, they're at Tennessee. I had that one as a toss-up. I don't know how good Tennessee's going to be.
Oh, I wish
I
I,
can't
knew
say
the
that's
time of the
definitive
game,
win.
man.
Tennessee's gonna have-
take Tennessee.
Tennessee's going to have the most improved defense in the conference. Jim Knowles is their defensive coordinator now. Look, watch. Tennessee could be this year's Texas Tech, like a team that's been kind of good and kind of on the cusp. 'Cause, I mean, last year Tennessee was a playoff team. Well, they had a lot of attrition this year. Kind of had to restack the roster. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like, but Jim Knowles, they're going to be a touchdown better on defense for sure. So that I would say that's a 50-50, but I lean Texas because I still think they have better overall talent.
Yeah. Brant,
And,
what'd you say? on
and we
this
know who their quarterback is right now.
one? Yeah.
I'd probably have to take Texas over Tennessee, but man, if it's a night game in Knoxville, I'd be a little worried.
Yeah. That's, I mean, and plus there's some I don't know factors in this.
Yeah.
And Mob, tally along with us and let us know. And look, we know this is way too early, but what are you going to do?
Hey, the
All
boss is gone. We're just having fun, guys.
That's right. That's right. All right. Oklahoma, I've got that as a win.
Win. That's in Dallas too. That's a neutral site. That's
Yeah.
big. That's big because Texas only has 4 road games this year.
Yeah. Brant?
I don't know. I feel like everybody knows that John Mateer did not have the year this year that he was supposed to. Now, granted, I don't care what anybody says. Coming from the Pac-2 to the SEC is going to be an uphill battle. I just don't think that he provided and played exactly how they thought he should, or how he even probably thought himself. So, I think Oklahoma's going to be a threat, bigger threat than anybody really thinks next year. Got a solid O line, great D line. Their defense was magnificent. I don't think they only lost 2 or 3 players off the defense. And, I mean, they're good. That's 50-50. I'll take Texas just because of the star power, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't don't expect Oklahoma to just kind of roll over.
Yeah, and it, in that game, you talking about their offense, Brant. I thought Oklahoma's offensive talent was good last year. They were just inconsistent because I think they either started 2 or 3 freshmen on the offensive line. So you got to think those guys are going to be a year older. They added through the portal. They added 3 top 100 players from the portal to go along with the team they already have. So
Yeah.
that probably was, like you're saying, it's probably a 50-50. But I'm going to go with Texas because I think that this could be the year that everybody was expecting Arch to have last year. and he's not going to have quite the media buzz because now everybody's going to be down on him because he didn't pop when everybody wanted him to. So now he's going to be kind of other players are going to be talked about a little bit more. And we saw what he could do the second half of the year. So I lean Texas, but yeah, I'm with you 50-50.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, don't forget about John Mateer's injury he had halfway through the season.
His hand,
he was playing hurt.
It was his throwing hand too. It wasn't his offhand; it was his throwing hand.
Exactly.
Before he got his throwing hand hurt, they were. I mean, that they rolled Michigan in that game.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it was only an 11 or 12 point game, but I mean, the yardage difference was like 2-1. First downs was 2-1. Yeah. I mean, it was one of those deceiving games. If you looked at the box score, they really handled business.
Yeah, I mean, for the first half of the season, people thought that John Mateer and Isaiah Satania was probably one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. So, yeah, 50-50 shot, but I'll lean Texas because of star power.
All right, I'm going to do two at a time for these next four because I think they're pretty obvious. You got Florida and Ole Miss, win-win.
Yeah, they're both at home. I'll take Texas in both of those.
Yeah,
although I
think
Florida could be the surprise nine-win team of the conference this year. They're going to be much better coached. They've still got a pretty good roster intact. Florida could be the biggest jumper this year from last year to this year. And they got a ton of cash. They are spending a ton of cash. They gave it to Billy. Billy just wasted it. But he did. He would tell you that's why he got fired. They didn't win but 2 conference games.
I'll definitely take Texas over Florida. Ole Miss is a little confusing to me just because I don't know what they're going to look like.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brant.
I
hate to interrupt you, Brant, but just to help you out there, Ole Miss picked up 7 of the top 100 players in the portal. They racked up. I think they were number 2. They have number 2 class in the portal. And of course, they have a new quarterback.
I'm interested to see a Pete Golding defense that Pete Golding doesn't really control. You know, he's just a head coach.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is a question mark, and I'll leave it just because we don't really know what they're going to look like. But I mean, obviously, if they met tomorrow, I'd pick Texas. So.
And no Charlie Weiss Jr. That's a big one. I mean, of course, you got no Lane Kiffin, but Charlie Weiss Jr. That's big. That's very big.
All right. Next to Mississippi State and at Missouri, and
that's
win and win.
Yeah, both times.
Win and win.
All right. So now game 10 could be a very, very intriguing game as they go to Death Valley at LSU. And I think, there was, I think 2005 or 6 Tennessee, before they picked up a little bit, they said, if you're going to get Tennessee, this is the year to get them back then. And this is the year, if you're going to get LSU, you better get them this year. So they got at LSU. I counted that as a toss-up for me.
I'm taking LSU all day.
Yeah, I'll definitely take LSU in that one. I mean, not only that, I mean, they got the number 1, I think it was number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the portal. The young man from Arizona State, Levitt. I couldn't think of his last name. I won't say Hartman. That was the guy from Wake a couple years ago.
Oh my God.
They got Sam Levitt. They got like the number 1 quarterback in the portal. And on top of that, you look at LSU, they picked up 8 of the top 100. He was able to retain the defensive coordinator. You still got most of that offensive staff coming over with Lane. I guarantee you that's going to be a night game, raucous environment. Give me LSU in that one.
All right, and then their last 2, Arkansas and ATM. Those are both wins.
Arkansas W definitely.
Yeah.
But Texas A&M, that's a toss up for me. Mike Elko has done an insanely good job when at Texas A&M and. Coming from Duke, people were kind of up in arms. They're like, oh, why do we go get a head coach from Duke? He's not going to know how to coach in the SEC. Yeah, let me tell you, that dude's an alumni, okay? He knows how to coach Texas A&M football. He's done insanely well. Texas A&M is going to be a lot better next year than people give him credit for. Hey, and they got to come to Tuscaloosa too, don't they? I mean,
who? A&M?
Texas A&M.
Yeah, they do.
That's a
I'm just saying, Texas owns Texas A&M. It's in their head. They're not winning that game.
Yeah, I don't care if they play on. Yeah, I don't care if they play on the moon. Give me Texas until Texas A&M proves they can win. But I'm with you, Brant. I love what Mike Elko's doing. I love the talent. I mean, they just picked up, on top of what they have coming back, they just picked up 4 of the top 100 players in the portal. They keeping the majority of that roster together and then adding key pieces like that. They're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out. But give me Texas in that one.
Yeah. Well, by that time, A&M will probably have lost 3 in a row, and they'll have that late season collapse they always do. So prove me wrong, Aggies, please. I'm begging you. All right. So the schedule we're going to pair that to is to Auburn, um, Baylor, and Southern Miss. I got both of those as a win.
Win-win.
All right. We'll kind of skip through this one as best we can. Florida and Vandy. Florida's at home. I think they'll win those two. I think they'll start off 4-0.
Yeah, Auburn starts 4-0 and then goes to Tennessee and loses. That's my projection there.
Oh, their next 4 games are absolutely brutal.
Right. They're gonna start off 4-0. The Auburn faithful are gonna be going crazy, and then they're gonna lose their next 4. Tell them watch it.
Well, because they got at Tennessee, that's a loss. They got at Georgia, that's a loss. They got LSU. It's at home, so they'll have a little bit of chance with that Auburn.
Give them a reasonable shot there because Auburn's got a great home field advantage.
Yes, yeah, one of the best in the country, 100%. LSU will win it, but I think it'll be I think whatever the spread is, Auburn's going to cover.
Mm-hmm.
As I can foretell that, 9 months from now, easy, or 8.5 months or whatever, and then they go to at Ole Miss.
Loss.
Yeah. So that's 0-4. Brant, what do you on those 4? You agree 0-4?
I don't know, man. I think y'all are really sleeping on Auburn. I don't care if they got Alex Golesh and they half of South Florida's roster. Auburn's going to be good. I mean, not obviously we've said that for the past 6 years because we're Alabama fans and we want to give them all the hope in the world before we take it. But Auburn's going to be pretty decent. All these I think Florida they win, but I do think that's a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I think them and Ole Miss is going to be close. I don't think Ole Miss goes out there and runs over Auburn. Now, granted, they're not beating Georgia. They're not beating Tennessee.
Brant, they're playing at Ole Miss. It's not an Auburn home game.
Yeah.
I don't care. Auburn's good. No, I don't. And plus, we don't know what Ole Miss is even going to look like.
Well, that's the thing is the stretches. It's 3 out of the 4 on the road.
Yeah.
And the only home game they have in that stretch is LSU.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to win. I'm just saying to say they're going to outright just lose completely. I think is a bold take. Auburn's good. Auburn this past year they weren't that good compared to everybody else in the SEC, but they still played everybody within a touchdown or 10 points. I mean, I think they have the keys to be a great football program. I think it's just putting the keys in the ignition and starting it. And I think they're going to try and figure out Auburn fans. If you're an Auburn fan, you're watching. I think this is a prime year for Auburn football to learn what you're going to be. Because I don't think this is going to be a Brent Harsin year where they bring him in for a year or two, watch him do bad and leave. I think they trust Alex Golesh, and I don't think Golesh would have taken the job if he didn't have full control. So this is going to be a very telling year for Auburn fans. What your future is going to look like. But
yeah, Golesh.
I'll say 0-4. Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Oh, Golesh is the guy that Auburn needs right now. They need somebody that's just going to be tough and hard nosed. What,
so
Bullet?
All that to agree with us, Brant?
Yeah. I'm just saying they're not going to lose outright, but I mean, I just think that saying they're going to just lose to Ole Miss when we don't know what they're going to like is crazy. That's what I'm saying, 1-3 or 0-4. But I mean,
yeah, probably 1-3 at best. But Golesh is exactly what they need. I mean, his parents escaped the Soviet Union. The guy's got a toughness and hardness to him.
That's what they needed, and they got it.
He's got that toughness and hardness to him, and that's exactly what they need. They need a coach that's going to come in there and give them a dose of reality. And probably one of the best things that happened for Auburn was that coaching change, and a lot of the players that were there because they were simply being overpaid to be there, which that's been well documented by many people in the media that were just there to get the money, that they've been run off, and now he's getting some guys that want to come in there and be mutters and come in there and win football games.
Yeah, and look, for the record, I got them going 7-5 and making a bowl. First time, this decade?
I think that's more than reasonable. And on top of that, the 5 losses it's not going to be like they get beat 31-3 and they have 24 yards of rushing.
Exactly.
I don't think you're going to see games like that.
Yeah.
You're going to see, again, they lost a lot of close games like that this year, but it was because they couldn't score. I think their offense is going to be better.
Right.
Their defense took some hits this year, but they'll have a better overall, more well-rounded team this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's skip to these next 3 are obviously dubs for Auburn. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Samford. I think we can all agree on that.
Win, win, win.
Don't sleep on Starkville, man. Don't sleep on Mississippi State.
I'm sleeping on them until they get better. I'm not picking them.
Yeah.
Auburn goes in there and wins that one. And then, of course, they play at Bama.
Lost.
I don't think they're ready to win at Bama, but
Not this year.
not this year. Now next year they could start their own streak, I think. But I think Bama gets 7 on them. So, all right, guys. So now we kind of went through those two. Which of these two schedules do you like more as far as wins?
Which one would I prefer to have if I was a
Yes.
team? I prefer to have
Yes.
Texas schedule.
You would prefer to have
I
Texas?
do not want to go to Bama or to Tennessee or to Georgia. I don't want to do all that. Okay.
Well, they both go to Tennessee, but here's the thing. Here's my thing for Texas. Yes, they play Ohio State, but they're at home. Their other probably second or third biggest game is neutral site. They only have 4 true road games, and their 4 true road games are at Tennessee, which we already discussed, at Missouri,
LSU. Yeah.
at LSU, at A&M. Like I said, you own A&M. Missouri, you got much better talent roster. You have 2 true road games that are going to be hectic.
LSU and Tennessee.
LSU, Tennessee.
Yep. And then, Auburn's got the gauntlet. I mean, they've got
Georgia, Bama, Tennessee.
Ole Miss,
Ole
depending
Miss.
on how they are. You potentially got 4 ranked road games.
Who are the
I
three?
mean,
Who are the 3 rivalries that Auburn kept? I know Alabama was
kept-
one of them, but they kept 2 more. I can't remember who they were.
I know they kept Bama, they kept Georgia, and
Yeah,
I'm
Bama-
thinking that they may have
Bama,
kept.
Georgia, and Mississippi State.
Well, Alabama kept Mississippi
Yeah,
State.
we kept Mississippi State. We kept Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State.
Probably Arkansas, because that's an
Probably
old
so.
SEC West rivalry right there.
Could be. All right, so I think we all agree Texas. Well, you'd probably want to have Texas's schedule.
And I'm going
Right,
to
all right.
and I'm going to go ahead and pick Arkansas to finish last with no conference wins.
Well, I'll go out on a limb there.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not real big on their coaching hire, and they're spending the least amount of money in the conference, and
Yeah.
they really don't seem to care right now.
Yeah. Well, there's really
They've
nothing
got-
to care about
They've
football-wise.
they've
there.
got Walmart headquarters in Arkansas. There are, I heard somebody the other day say there are like 6 or 7 billionaires associated with Arkansas University. They've got Jerry Jones, and they not spend any money. So
All right. For our next pair of SEC teams, we got Oklahoma and Georgia, and we'll kind of breeze through these. Oklahoma, you got UTEP win. You got at Michigan. That's gonna be a good game.
I'll take
What'd you
Michigan
think?
there.
You'll take Michigan.
I'll take Michigan, especially in the big house.
Yeah.
I think we're also giving Bryce Underwood a good all season to prepare and just to kind of adapt to everything and figure out their problems they had last year. I do think it might be a little hectic in the coaching part, just because you kind of I just didn't know. First of all, I want to say this: I don't understand the Michigan coaching hire. I just feel like that's not
very
guy.
odd.
I don't know how to describe it. I just don't feel like he's a Michigan guy. And I think they're still going to be dealing with all the Sharon Moore stuff. I feel like it's going to be pretty difficult up there in Michigan this year, but I say they get a good win. Maybe Oklahoma goes up there and makes a couple mistakes. But I'll take Michigan in that game.
All right, what about you, Bo?
Man, I have a lot of reservations about Kyle Whittingham at Michigan, and a lot of stuff Brant was talking about. And not only that, that's early on. Are they going to adapt to Bryce Underwood's skill set? Are they actually going to allow him to throw the football? I think Michigan has so many unanswered questions as opposed to Oklahoma. And I know they're playing on the road, but I think Oklahoma will have the defense is going to be rock solid. I'm not worried about the defense because defense always travels. And I feel like I'm getting a healthy John Mateer. And if I've got a healthy John Mateer with a more experienced, better offensive line, I'll take that as opposed to Bryce Underwood. And there's a lot of players left that Michigan transfer portal, and also left Michigan in the transfer portal. And on top of that, Michigan picked up 3 of the top 100 players in the portal, and all 3 are from Utah. And Utah, I mean, they finished 4th or 5th in the Big 12. The Big 10 is a much more physical league than the Big 12, and so you're losing Big 12 caliber players and replacing them with, or Big 10 the Big 10 is a physical football league, and you're replacing them with, in my opinion, what would be lesser caliber players. I mean, I could be wrong. Time will tell, but that's just kind of my observation outside looking in. I mean, I say it's probably 50-50, and I'll lean Oklahoma, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if Michigan won that game because I think Kyle Whittingham is smart enough to allow his offensive staff to use Underwood how they need to use him to win games and not just turn around and hand the ball off all the time.
Yeah. All right. So next they got New Mexico win. All right. This is where I have them having two back-to-back losses before they go on a run. At Georgia, Texas, I got both of those as losses. Brant?
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take that. Although I will say I'm a little concerned about Georgia. I mean, not because I'm a Georgia fan, but just I want to say they were around like somewhere between 25 and 30 in the transfer portal. I don't know how much of that roster is still intact. I've got some questions about Georgia. This is the first time I feel like I have more questions about Georgia than answers. And so, but I also feel confident that Kirby can answer those. But if he don't have the dues to do it, he don't have the dues to do it. So
it's a home game for Georgia. If it was,
yeah, I mean, and I agree. And I was looking at Georgia they only went and got 2 of the top 100 portal players. Now, I think a lot of people look at that and go, "Oh, they only got 2." But I kind of look at that and I go, "Well, maybe he only got 2 because he feels good about what he has, and he's just adding 2 pieces to this defense." Because I believe both of them were defensive players. So, but we'll see. But I'll definitely go ahead and take Kirby in his own house. But I would be a little cautious.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go in there and beat the snot out of Oklahoma. I just think they're going to win the game, obviously. All right, so we'll kind of do 3 at a time here because I think these bottom 7 are relatively easy. Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, dub. Everybody agree, Brett?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Hey, I will say this about Kentucky. They're 9th in the transfer portal. They got 3 of the top 100 players. They got a real good, highly touted transfer quarterback from Notre Dame. He was supposed to go to Nebraska, and then Kentucky got him flipped once Will Stein got in there. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator at Oregon, so they have a more offensive-minded head coach, probably going to try to be more dynamic with the offense and in the passing game. So Kentucky could be another team. They could be incredibly improved from last year, but not show in the win and loss column.
Yeah. Brett, you said you agree with those 3?
Agree
Win.
with Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, win. Yeah.
All right. Then we got at Florida, Ole Miss, ATM. I got win that way too. What y'all got, Bo? What you got?
At Florida is always a tough place to play, but Tennessee didn't have a problem going in there thumping them. But last year, but of course, it's going to be a different regime. And guys, it's like the NFL now, man. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know how these teams are going to play. Look at Penn State last year. Look how fast their season went in the toilet. Clemson, look how fast their season went in the toilet. LSU, bomb. You know what I'm saying? So it just they better be cautious going in. They better be cautious going into Florida. I think Ole Miss is a win, and I like them to beat A&M at home. Now the last game at Missouri could be tricky, especially after you've played at Florida, Ole Miss, A&M in a row. I mean, those are 3 pretty tough. They're going to be tough physical line of scrimmage team because Summerall wants to run the football. Pete Golding, I guarantee you, they're going to want to run the football because he's a defensive coach. That's usually the defensive head coaches. They usually run the ball. Nick Saban,
don't make me Jameis Winston this W.
And that could be a tough stretch, and A&M is one of the more talented teams in the conference. So yeah. I'm just saying that could be a tough stretch, and then you get at Missouri in a row with no bye. So
yeah, and look, this is all for fun. We're actually going to keep these, and we're going to save this right here because we're going to do this again Sunday or Tuesday. We're going to get 6 new teams. We're going to do this to all the teams are done, and we're going to write these down. Then we're going to see how terrible these predictions are. Especially mine, because I'm just like, win. You get a win. All right, Brant, those last 4 games.
All wins. I think they're all dubs.
Okay. All right, let's go to Georgia. They have. We'll go. We'll do the first three first because I think this is a horrible start. Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, Arkansas. I mean,
Well,
they're liable.
we already had them beaten on Oklahoma's schedule. We already had Georgia beating
Yeah.
Oklahoma, so that's a win. And then
Yeah.
beating Vanderbilt, and then they will be undefeated going into Tuscaloosa, and they will catch a
I
L.
have that as a toss up.
But
I
but
respect-
you're right.
yeah.
It's 50-50, but I have to think that Bama at home in that situation,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna like them for sure.
Yeah.
Then they get Auburn at home.
Yeah.
That's a
Brand-
win.
Yeah. Brant, what you got on those first 5 or 6 games?
I think they're all wins. Alabama is a tough one just because, as Alabama fans, nobody knows more than us about how inconsistent we are. Hopefully, Ryan Grubb he'll get his offseason to really kind of dial it in and figure out who our starting quarterback is going to be and fix our mistakes that we have on the line of scrimmage. And hopefully, we can figure all that stuff out. And I think if we do, if we come into next season, we have a solid O line, and we're not in week 7 going, where the hell is our O line at? I think Alabama wins that game.
And still shuffling the offensive line series to series.
Exactly. Yeah, if we're not doing that, I think we win the game. But if we still don't know what we're doing,
Yeah.
Georgia's going to beat us.
What gives me hope is 2023 Washington. And you go watch them play, and man, they were big and they were fast and they were physical.
Mm-hmm.
And they played they put Michigan, cheating aside. That Michigan defense was really good, and they ran the ball right at them, and with decent success for a lot of the night. They were able to run the ball enough to stay ahead of the sticks most of the game, and most teams in the Big Ten couldn't do that. That 2023 Washington still gives me hope that Grubb knows what he's doing, and also too, listen for the name Scott Huff. He was the offensive line coach then. He's the tight ends coach for the LA Rams. Maybe after their season's over, he might be somebody that they potentially could bring in, like bring him in to coach offensive line, and then kick Coach Cap over to tight ends, or maybe he comes in and coach tight ends and helps with the offensive line. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm just, maybe something that could happen. But if anybody thinks that DeBoer is about to fire Coach Cap after he basically went and got all those new offensive linemen to come in, Cap's not going anywhere. So forget that.
Yeah. All right, and the last 4 or 5 games, you got Ole Miss, Missouri, South Carolina, Georgia Tech. I don't see them losing any of those games.
Georgia Tech will be a good one. Georgia Tech did so well in the portal. I find Georgia Tech a very scary team, especially if you're an ACC team or you're an ACC team fan. Man, Georgia Tech looks real scary right now. I mean, they went and got some dang good players. They fixed all their mistakes. They fixed their running back mistakes. They fixed their receiver mistakes. I mean, they have done everything that they need to do to be a good football, and not only a good football team, a good winning program. And I think Georgia Tech is really scary for teams in the ACC, but also going to be real scary for Georgia. Are they at Georgia Tech, or are they in Athens?
No, they're in Athens.
Okay,
Athens.
then I can't say that Georgia Tech walks into Athens and wins, but
Brant,
that's going to be a good game.
Brant, who's going to be the quarterback at Georgia Tech next year? Who'd they pick up? Didn't they pick somebody up?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I thought the guy they had last year was no, they had Haynes King, didn't they?
King's been there. I mean, he's been in college like 14 years, but
To be honest with you, I don't know who their quarterback would be, unless did Max Johnson transfer to Georgia Tech?
no. I swear they got a quarterback out of the portal. I can't remember who it was.
What TJ Finley was.
I know. He went to Incarnate Word until next year when he transfers back to D1.
TJ Finley is to college football what Gaylord Perry was to Major League Baseball.
Yes. If that kid ever goes into the College Football Hall of Fame,
Oh,
what
he's
helmet
got-
Oh,
does he
Alberto
wear?
Mendoza.
Who?
Alberto Mendoza, Fernando Mendoza's little brother. That's who they went and got.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah, literally the night after the Natty, they went and got him.
that's right. I remember seeing that now.
He actually left Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
He got his Nats sitting on the bench watching his brother, and he was like, peace and chicken grease.
Well, he wasn't
I'm
going to
gonna
start
go to
over
Georgia Tech.
Josh Hooper. I mean,
Dang. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
don't
well,
know.
I think, I
Very
think
unproven.
between these two schedules, I think we would obviously take Georgia. They got like one hard road game at Bama.
mhm.
Their other road games are pretty
At Ole
candy.
Miss, was it at Ole Miss, at South Carolina? I mean, Williams
Yeah.
Bryce is a really good home field advantage. The question is, though,
It is.
what are they going to look like at that point in the season? Because remember, they had that game against Bama, and then when Bama broke their backs, like they just give out after that one. Like they had, like that was that, okay, kitchen sink game, and because they had lost a couple of tough ones, and then that was like that was the last straw for them, and they threw everything they had into that game, and they lost in the fashion they lost, and I don't think they won another game after that.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to our last SEC comparison before we get into some portal stuff. And Mob, we're supposed to be just football, but we do have a little bit of basketball because there was something that's happened at the University of Alabama that's just mind-blowingly outrageous that we're going to get to here in a minute. And it's crazy. We'll get into it, but I hope some of y'all keep up with college basketball because this is probably the most interesting story that I've seen probably ever in college basketball. All right, so Kentucky. We'll go three at a time on here. Youngstown State, dub. Bama at ATM. I got both of those L's, so they start off 1-2. All right. They got. I hate picking this next one. They got South Alabama. I would love for the Jags to go up there and whip them.
Hey, I might go. We might drive up there because my wife's from Louisville, and Lexington's 60 miles from Louisville.
Yeah.
So we may, if Madison makes the trip, we may drive up there.
Nice. That's a long drive.
Yeah, it's a solid 8-9 hours.
Okay. All right.
Full day.
So then 5, 6, and 7, they got out at South Carolina, LSU, and at OU. I had
50-50.
They lose all
50-50, and then LL.
They lose all
Brad,
those.
you agree? Okay. I had them beating Vanderbilt at home. And then I had them losing out to Tennessee, Florida, at Missouri, and Louisville.
That
Brad,
sounds about right. Hey,
Kentucky usually gives Florida a run for their money. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Every year they usually give them. Every time they play, I watch Kentucky and Florida. I'm like, why is Kentucky about to beat Florida right now? I feel like I say that every time. I will make a bold take so the Mob can save this. I think Vanderbilt takes a major back step. I think they go, if they don't finish second to last in the conference, I think they finish third to last in the conference. I feel like the Pavia thing, he's gone now. I feel like he kind of uplifted that team a lot, and I think they don't really know where to go without him. That's just now. Granted, I don't know what it's going to look like 8 months from now. That's my bold take. I'm just saying I think Vanderbilt takes a major back step.
And that's why we're doing this. We're going to document all the crazy stuff we said now.
Now, they did get
September, we're going to be like, man, those were some dumb takes.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah. Well, they did get the number one quarterback in the country away from – we're able to pull him away from Georgia. But, again, the track record of true freshmen starting in major college football is not good. See Bryce Underwood. Oh, they won 9 games. He had a slew of games. I mean, more than half his games, he didn't throw for 150 yards and didn't throw a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
They won those games because they were able to run the ball against some very, very mediocre to below mediocre competition. If you go look at their schedule, and I'm not trying to slight Michigan on that. It's not their fault. I give them a lot of credit for playing Oklahoma. It's not their fault. The league made that schedule. They can only, in those league games, you can only play who they put on the schedule. We also saw Dylan Raiola before he got hurt. Even this past year, even his sophomore year, he was a little bit better. But his freshman year, man, he was up and down, up and down. Good game, bad game, bad game, good game. Good luck with that, Commodores.
Yeah. All right. So now we will go to Ole Miss. First two are going to be dubs: Louisville, Charlotte. Brant,
where's that Louisville game? Is that in Georgia? Is that the Chick-fil-A kickoff?
I did when I wrote it down. I did not see that it was, but it sounds like it probably should be in the Chick-fil-A kickoff.
That game is actually in Nashville.
Okay. Oh. Play it at Titan Stadium.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're probably right. Yep.
Yeah.
Playing in Nashville.
So 2-0. All right, so now they play LSU.
Lost.
That game's okay. Well, you're going to take my thunder away. I was going to try to give Ole Miss a little bit of hope. It's early and it's at home. So
Yeah.
it could be
Hey,
50-50.
Ole Miss LSU, that you talking about some hatred. I would just like to get a drone and fly that drone over the crowd and just watch all the fights in the crowd, because that they already didn't like each other. I didn't really realize how bitter of a rivalry that was.
Yes.
And until, you start reading, start hearing some things, and you start listening to people talk, maybe that went to some games. And then you add all of this stuff with Lane Kiffin, Frank Wilson, all this stuff going back and forth. That could be nasty. That could be really nasty. And especially the players going back and forth, swapping teams, and man, that could be that could be an interesting show right there.
Yeah. Feinbaum, what you got on that game?
It's all Katy Perry's fault, man. It always is. But I don't know. I'd be interested to be at a tailgate with those two teams playing. I don't know, man. Hate drives a crazy bargain, and I think that Ole Miss is going to have a lot of it. But I mean, I give it to LSU. I don't really see Ole Miss is going in there and outplaying them. But by the way, Bo, I think Chick-fil-A kickoff is Auburn and Baylor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, I'll
It's going
take
to be a dub for the SEC.
I'll take LSU.
Yeah, Baylor's not beating Auburn in that game, but anyway.
So I have a quick question for the mob before we get into these last 8 or 9 games. LSU fans, who do you hate more, Ole Miss or Alabama? Ole Miss fans, who do you hate more, LSU or Mississippi State? Let us know. This is intriguing. I think both of them hate each other. Recency bias.
Chad, I say we go straight back to like 1988 and just put the steel cage up and just let them fight it out.
The blue one.
Yeah, the old school blue one, and it's last man standing. Got to crawl over the top to win.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for that. All right, so let's do these next 3: at Florida, at Vandy, Missouri. I got actually have Ole Miss winning those. Bo.
That Florida game could be tricky, especially after coming off the LSU game. Then you got to go on the road. I'm going to say L on that one. And then they got a bye, and they'll come off a bye, and then they'll smash Vanderbilt because they'll get their legs back up under them, and then they'll beat Missouri at home too.
Yeah, I actually think if they beat LSU, they lose to Florida. If they lose to LSU, they're going to beat Florida. I think it'll be some kind of weird.
Could be.
Brand.
Could be, but I think that LSU game is circled on the calendar.
Oh yeah.
And if I were going to have to play Ole Miss, that would be the week that I'd want to play them, is the week after, regardless of what happens. They are going to pour everything they have into that game.
Yep. Brant, what you got on those 3?
I absolutely agree. If they don't, I think if they beat LSU, they lose to Florida. I think if they lose to LSU, they beat Florida. They beat LSU, they lose to Florida. I completely 100% agree. It's the only thing, and I don't know if you saw my rant on Tuesday. I'm sure you were turning over in your grave when I said that the Big Ten now owns college football. But let me tell you something. The only good thing about the SEC is that week in, week out, you're getting your teeth knocked in. Okay, and that was kind of my big thing when I was talking about the Big Ten on Tuesday. They got really a solid, really good 5-6 teams, but it's pretty much it. It's just the top, but the SEC, man, every week you're getting hit. So I say one of those games for sure they lose. If Ole Miss beats LSU, turns around, beats Florida, and then goes and beats Missouri, I mean that'd be mighty impressive for them. But I'll take them losing one of those, absolutely.
All right. Then they got at Texas, Auburn, Georgia. I got them going 1-2.
Yeah, Texas is a loss.
Yeah.
I'll give them Auburn with the win at home, and then loss to Georgia.
Feinbaum?
I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll round it out. At Oklahoma, Wofford, Mississippi State. I got 2 wins and a possible 50-50 game at Oklahoma, just depending on how their season goes from there. I'm not ready to call that at Oklahoma a definite win necessarily, but I know I picked Oklahoma to win it with theirs, but the more I think about it, there's just a lot of unknown, but you know what? Screw it. They're going to lose at Oklahoma. I'm going to be consistent with my picks.
At Oklahoma's a loss. And of course they'll beat Wofford, and then Mississippi State, depending on how it goes. I mean, think about this, guys. They're finishing their season. Missouri at Texas, Auburn, Georgia at Oklahoma, and then basically a bye, and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
They could be so beat up at that point. I mean, like Bama by the time they got to the SEC championship game, they had all those players that everybody was hurt. They were a mass unit at that point, and that's a very real thing. But the game is at home. I'll still take Ole Miss to win that game.
Yeah. All right. So Brant, out of those two schedules, who would you want? Which one would you want as a coach?
I don't know, man. I would hate to play LSU that early.
I think that's when you want to play them is early.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But because of the transition.
I have Ole Miss losing to Oklahoma and Mississippi State. So I don't know, man. I guess Ole Miss's schedule. I feel like you kind of get your big ones early. But I mean, until you get to the whole Oklahoma, Auburn, and all those bigger kind of lugs of SEC teams. But I'd probably take Ole Miss's schedule. I think it's more favorable towards the style of football they like to play, and I trust them to, if not win 7, or if not win 8, at least win 7. I think there's a lot of 50-50 games on their schedule, but I think those last 2 are killers. I don't think people realize how big and under the radar the Egg Bowl goes. Because, I mean, granted, it's not the Iron Bowl because we'll shoot each other, but the Egg Bowl is pretty severe. So
pretty intense.
Yeah, I'll take Ole Miss's schedule, but I don't think they're gonna cakewalk their schedule or even win 9 games. So
I'm taking Ole Miss simply because they only have 4 road games in conference.
That's what I was going to say.
Kentucky has 5.
That's what I was going to say. And then on top of that, not only that, but one of Kentucky's big out-of-conference game is Louisville, who has absolutely pounded them unmercifully the last couple of years. But who knows? Better coaching staff, more offensive-minded, maybe better at quarterback, better season. Maybe they get the dub. But Louisville has just pounded Kentucky the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Got that out of the way. We'll have more of that during the next few weeks. It's kind of fun. And like I said, it's just something to kind of pass the time. But, before we get to maybe Senior Bowl and, maybe a little bit of combine stuff. But let's go to transfer portal. But before we get to that, we got to talk about this NCAA basketball. This is, I mean, even though it really benefits Alabama.
Yeah, it does.
Because this guy's a damn good player. He's a 7-foot center, and that's a piece of the puzzle that this Alabama team is desperately missing. Bediako, 7-footer, played at Alabama a couple years ago, went pro, undrafted, been in the G League for a year and a half, sues the NCAA, gets a temporary restraining order. He's eligible to play Saturday against Tennessee.
And gets the restraining order from a judge in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. Shocker! No, there's nothing wrong there.
Oh no, there's no nepotism or favoritism or
none.
But see, this has been my thing. The NCAA has had so many instances where they could fix the problem by just looking. And this is, even as an Alabama fan, this is a massive problem.
It's wrong.
I don't care that I'm an Alabama basketball. I'm an Alabama fan in general, whatever. There's something wrong with this. And I hope that I said this so many times, so I'm kind of tired of it. But I hope this makes NCAA open their eyes and realize there's a problem. But they won't. They're
won't neutered.
Do it. So
they're neutered.
I mean, if I'm any rookie in the G League for the past year and a half or 2 years, hey, I'm suing. I want to go back to college. I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger, I've learned more. Let me go back to college and win a championship. If Alabama wins a national championship in basketball this year because they picked up a 7-footer in the mid of the season, dude. If college basketball fans and NCAA will collapse. They will have a riot outside. Okay, if Alabama wins a basketball national championship.
Hey, and look, we're all Alabama fans, and we're all sitting here, documenting, saying how wrong this is. So wrong.
Absolutely.
I don't care that it benefits our team. It is so wrong, and it always goes back to the rant that Calipari had. I talked about this on the show. For those of you didn't get it, that he was talking about a guy that was 26 years old playing in college, still playing 26, 27 years old playing in college basketball, and he was using his NIL money to pay alimony from his first wife that he divorced while his kids and current wife are sitting in the stands watching him play. And that's where we're at. I mean, it's so broken. Nobody gives a rip. But you know what? I'm here for it, baby. I'm playing the cello on the Titanic. Let's take this thing down, baby. I'm going to watch it go down, and it's going to go down in flames. And I'm going to love every bit of it because everything that happens, it gets weirder and weirder by the day. And I can't help but laugh at how ridiculous this stuff is. Because the most common sense things that could happen, they say, no, not only are we going to take that and wad it up in the garbage can, but watch this. It's like what they say. It's crazy.
There's two other teams that have done this. They picked up players from the G League. And I forgot the two college basketball teams that escaped me. But this is the third one. I didn't hear about the first two. I didn't hear about it until it was Alabama.
Yeah, well, that's what Calipari was referencing, and he didn't. Yeah. I didn't catch the team. I didn't catch the team, but that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. All right. I guess we get into some of this transfer portal stuff. Alabama's just kind of been cleaning house with the offensive line, which is what they needed to do, since the offensive line was pure dog crap last year. Getting left tackle after left tackle, guard after guard. Got a couple of centers. Bo, what you got?
Well, it's crazy. One of the things that I dislike so much about the portal, it's like organized chaos. It's like taking a bunch of confetti and just throwing it up and then trying to catch individual ones one at a time. You know what I mean? Because in the NFL, there is a thing called free agency. And every team in the NFL, I'm sure I can just picture in my mind, they have a board. Well, of course, it's probably now on a computer in a system in a spreadsheet, but you all get the idea. They have a board, all the free agents, all their intangibles, who they're going to target, their salary cap, this, that, and the other. And it's basically down to a science. Okay? So they know as soon as free agency opens, those offers are flying in fast and furious. I mean, it's because they've already got them ready. The portal, it's like, 37 guys just got into the portal. And then you refresh your screen. 55 players just joined the portal. And then it ends up being 10,000 players are in the portal. Over 30% of all college football players from Division I all the way to JUCO are in the transfer portal. It's like, how the hell do you track all that? How can you evaluate these players? And one of the things I've noticed is that the number of players that are just switching teams within conferences, especially in the SEC, because those coaches have actually watched those players play and they know what kind of players they are. So it's easier to just go, oh, yeah, that guy's a good player. Let's go get him. We know what kind of player he is. But also, I just wanted to point this out about the portal. I was just doing some thinking the other night because all I've heard is how much money the Big Ten has to spend, that the Big Ten is just this they're just so wealthy and the SEC so poor and they have so much more money to spend. And again, this is a small sample size. I just looked at the top 100 players and top teams. 47 of the top 100 players are in the SEC that are in the portal. Okay. There are, I think, 15 teams that got at least one of the top 100 players. LSU led the way with 8. Ole Miss got 7. Texas got 7. And I don't think it's a big shocker that those are the 3 top teams in the transfer portal. 7 of the top 15 teams, okay, so half, in the transfer portal are from the SEC. And I think it was 12 of the top 25 are from the SEC. So the SEC is adapting to using the portal. It was like the SEC for at first was resistant because, hey, we got all this talent. We don't need to go into the portal. Well, then all the talent started moving around. And then also look at what Indiana's doing. And people aren't dumb. I mean, the blueprint's out there. Go, and these teams now are shopping more in the SEC, and getting more players out of the portal. It's just the way it is. Like I said, 47 of the top 100. The Big Ten only has 20 players of the top 100. Okay, and then of course Ohio State leading the way with 5, Indiana with 4, Michigan with 3, Penn State with 3. Oregon, USC had 2 apiece. Minnesota had 1. So the Big Ten may have more money, was what we're told, but I mean, they It looks like the SEC has outspent them tenfold here. But the other point to this is too, and I just want to say this: Big Ten, not trashing you, I'm just looking at numbers. Okay, is that almost 75% of the top 100 went to the two conferences. So those are, I mean, the Big Ten and the SEC are clearly the two best conferences. And again, we've said this on the show. We have a lot of respect for the top 5 or 6 teams in the conference in the Big Ten. They're really legitimate teams. We are. It's just 60% of the conference is dog shit, and you Big Ten people know it is. You know it is. You know it is because you play them, and your good teams, Oregon and Ohio State and Michigan, y'all beat the crap out of those teams on a regular basis, and the games aren't even competitive. Okay, we all know it because we all watch it. I mean, I watch the games too. But I guess my point is that the SEC is shopping around in the portal more now, and you take a team like Iowa. Iowa has always been a recruit and develop team. Well, they just had 27 seniors leave, including their quarterback. I don't see them anywhere near on this. I don't know where they're at as far as the portal. They got a lot of fixing to do there.
Look, Bo, look on the back.
Look on the back.
Yeah, look on the back. They're probably on the back.
Oh,
Iowa.
Yeah.
You got to flip it over.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything jotted down on Iowa, which means they're a pretty good ways back, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, that was my point.
But again, Big Ten, your team's at the top. They're taking care of business. Penn State's going to be much better. Ohio State's going to be Ohio State. Oregon's going to be, and I think a lot of it is the Big Ten has so much money. I mean, Oregon's got Phil Knight and Nike money. I mean, that's basically a blank check.
Yeah.
Indiana has spent some money, but they've spent wisely. That's the thing. It's not just about spending money. It's about spending money wisely. I mean, Michigan paid
right fit.
Yeah, Michigan paid $12 million for a quarterback that didn't even throw for 2,000 yards. I mean, granted, he was a freshman. I know that, but I mean, I'm just saying, guys. You can spend all the money you want. That doesn't guarantee you wins. But here, I think the SEC has it's taken some time to put these collectives together. I think they're probably right as far as there's probably more individual wealthy donors. I mean, it was like the coach Dillingham at Arizona State a couple of weeks ago. He was begging, "Will somebody just please stroke us a check for $20 million, and I can go get who I want." I mean, there's not many universities, honestly, that have that where somebody can just come in and just say, here's unlimited purse string. There's a limit to everything, guys. There really is. So anyway, so that's the portal right now. I mean, both the top of the Big Ten looks really strong, as they should. I mean, because those are good quality programs. And the SEC, I mean, LSU, Texas, Bama's going to be strong. Bama's done a great job in the portal. I mean, they've done a good job addressing their needs. Offensive lineman, it's not sexy, but winning is. So, everybody wants the skill guys, the quarterbacks, but if you don't have the line to block for them, it really doesn't matter. So, but Kentucky has done surprisingly well in the portal. I think they were ranked 9th in the portal. They've got a good offensive mind. Will Stein, offensive coordinator from Oregon. So, just be interesting to see how it all stacks up. So that's your portal update for now. Oh, and by the way, 4 of the top 10 portal classes were from the SEC. 4 were from the Big Ten. Who were the other 2, guys? See if y'all can guess.
Georgia Tech.
Nope.
You're
Give
me a conference.
Huh?
Give me a conference.
If I tell you that, you'll automatically get it.
Independent.
Notre Dame.
The Golden Domers.
Yeah.
And they made the playoff this year for the first time ever.
Oh,
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Okay.
That's your top.
BYU.
That's your
Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's your top 10 again, and show you the strength of the 2 big conferences, and then Notre Dame and Texas Tech.
All right, Brant. I'm going to give you final word on whatever you want to talk about.
Mine'll be pretty short on portal stuff. All the people I really kept up with was Alabama. That's why I made the comment on Georgia Tech. I have seen a couple of Georgia Tech's pickups, and I think Georgia Tech has done a really, really good job in the portal. I appreciate how Alabama's done in the portal. I feel like everything we complained about as far as line and scrimmage play is going to be a lot better. I think that it's going to be more developed. And I agree with Bo completely on the SEC kind of feeling like they didn't need the portal at first. And, now they see Kurt Cignetti winning at Indiana, and they said, oh, you know what? Maybe we should dabble. And they're going to start spending that money now. And I don't think the SEC is going anywhere. I mean, granted, I think that we're down the dumps right now because the Big Ten is back to back to back, but we'll see what happens. Pretty much all I got on portal speak. I do have a quick I can't stand it if we have time. And when I say quick, it's quick.
Let me say one thing about your offensive line. Mm-hmm. And I think something to totally back up what we're talking about in the commitment to running the football. They have 7 tight ends.
Yeah.
So they've retooled the offensive line. They've got probably one of the biggest tight end rooms in the country. So I think that shows you right there. They understand the job.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, anybody that thinks Kalen is going to sit back and just keep losing obviously doesn't know him very well because he hadn't done that anywhere he's been. So I think he's adapting to SEC football, and I think we have the perfect coach to kind of not only adapt but figure out needs and fix needs.
It took Lane and Sark a while to adjust to calling plays in life in the SEC because it's different football. I mean, if you go out west, it's different football. It's different football in the Big Ten. That's reality.
All right, well, go ahead with what you said you had. I can't stand it, Brant.
So it's quick. But I saw somebody. Well, I didn't see somebody. One of my friends told me this today. Okay, and it really kind of made me mad. I can't stand it when people think that if you're a fan of a college sports team, you can't be a closet fan of somebody else. Okay, obviously I'm an Alabama alumni. I love Alabama. I'm an Alabama fan through and through. But let me tell you, I'm a closet Mississippi State guy. I love Mississippi State. I want Mississippi State to win, okay? Unless they play Alabama, I'm always cheering for Mississippi State. I had a lot of good friends that went there. I have a lot of good ties to that school. Okay, I always want Mississippi State to win. This guy told me that I'm not allowed to do that because it's an in-SEC opponent, and because they're in the SEC as well. Anyway, I can't support them. What is? Are we stupid? What do you mean? I can't support Mississippi State? I got to go support Northwestern in the Big Ten? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I like Starkville. I like the Cowbells. I like the fine they got to pay every year to use them. So what? I'm a Starkville guy in my free time. What's wrong with that?
Well, Brant,
I can't stand it.
My can't stand it will be people who try to write rules in a rule book that doesn't exist about fandom. It's ridiculous. Pull for who you like.
Yeah, and
if you knew all the teams that I was closet fans for and why, that would just be a whole show. Okay.
Tennessee.
Ooh.
Wow, that's Brant. That's a fireable offense. Son. I'm sorry.
Hey, I like Tennessee.
I do like Josh Heupel.
I
don't have a problem in the world with Josh Heupel.
I like Bobby.
I think he's an excellent football coach. I do.
Yeah, and
he's at the wrong school.
Yeah, my I can't stand it is real quick. I can't stand when I can't find my Mike and Ike's. That's all I'm saying. So that's mine. So
1,000% agree.
All right, Marble, let us know how dumb our predictions are, because they are dumb. It's a little bit fun. So let us know in the comments what you think about our predictions. And like I said, they're way too early, having some fun, just trying to kill some time, because we got quite a while for anything interesting is going to happen. So with that being said, for Coach Bo and Brant Feinbaum, I am me, Chad Bolick, saying we will see you next time.